the iconic Mitch McConnell. And so I think, like a lot of people around the country, we got big-eyed and we said, whoa, my gosh, could this really happen in Kentucky? And so here a couple of guys in Iowa were sitting up taking notice saying, oh my gosh, who is this woman? And so, we took a look and we found that here is someone who is dynamic, she's brilliant, and she is the voice and a person who a lot of folks have come to believe is the best and the brightest and the future of our Democratic Party. Our speaker is the youngest female Secretary of State in the nation. Who knew? I actually thought she was the only Secretary of State that's a female in the nation, but I guess that must not be the case. Anyway, she took the nation by storm in her close bid against the iconic Senator Mitch McConnell. Her priorities include standing up for women's rights, voting rights, veterans' rights, workers' rights, and human rights. She's worked tirelessly to break down barriers to the ballot box. I don't understand. I just do not understand how in the land of the free we can have a party in this country that wants to try to limit the number of people that can go to the ballot box. I mean, that sounds like something you'd hear, in Africa? Communist China? That's not what my Constitution tells me this country should be about. The lady we're going to hear from tonight has fought tirelessly to get felons' voting rights restored and to get more and more people into the tent so that they can vote. So, more than 150,000 new businesses have been started under the Secretary's administration thanks to her efforts to embrace technology through a nationally recognized one-stop business portal. And I imagine we'll hear more about that in a moment. Prior to being elected, Alison practiced business law and spent her spare time advocating for victims of domestic violence. She and her husband Andrew live in Lexington, Kentucky. So it gives me great pleasure to bring to the podium and introduce to you Alison Lundergan Grimes, Kentucky's Secretary of State. Welcome, Alison.
Many of you, as you heard Dean say, stood up with me as I took what I thought was the nation's biggest bully, that was before Donald Trump, on in Mitch McConnell. A man who told us, Barack Obama, it was his main priority to make sure he didn't get a second term. We proved him wrong, didn't we? A man who just this past week stood up proudly and proclaimed that he was so excited to block the Supreme Court nomination election, there will be delayed gratification when you send Patty Judge to the United States Senate and Mitch McConnell is no longer majority leader. He is a man who, if the doctors told him he had a kidney stone, he'd refuse to pass it. Everything that is wrong with politics and government today, we can do better, and it begins with each and every one of you. We have 8 electoral votes in Kentucky. Y'all have 6. They sent me here to see you today. Because we know the path towards making history and bringing our United States Senate back into a Democratic majority, the path towards making history and electing our first female president begins right here in Iowa. President Hillary Clinton. Those are the 3 words that scare Republicans the most. Tonight, while we are eating our wings, the Republicans are down in Florida having an emergency meeting on how they bring back Donald Trump's sinking campaign. I don't know about you, but that's a little bit like the crew of the Titanic wanting to do a safety drill after they've already hit the iceberg. GOP that have been running away from Donald Trump's failing and sinking campaign. What do John McCain, Governor Kasich, Meg Whitfield, 50 other GOP elites, me, you, all have in common? None of us are supporting Donald Trump. We may see soon Melania Trump actually wearing an eye with her button. Tonight we're here though because this is not just about an election that is less than 90 days away on November 8th. This isn't just about 2016, it's about the future that we hope to build all across the United States, especially right here in Iowa. Tom Harkin country, folks. It's about fighting for the values we hold dear, and they're values that translate across state lines from the Commonwealth of Kentucky to Minnesota to right here in Iowa. Fighting for the faith that we are stronger together than we are divided. Heck, it's the state motto of Kentucky: united we stand, divided we fall. Fighting for family, that every family and every child gets an equal opportunity to live the American dream. Fighting for the future we believe in, which is one that is moving forward and not one that is moving backwards. And what's happening right now? What is happening right now all across the United States? Well, our children are watching, and the nation is watching. And there are 2 drastically different scenarios at play. When you look at what happened last month at the Republican National Convention versus the Democratic Convention, you can see it quite clearly. The Democratic Convention, we had unity. The Republicans, they have divisiveness and chaos. Heck, they had delegations leaving the floor. The Democrats, we talked about a plan and a vision to continue bringing all Americans together, while the Republicans talked about a place in America that we don't want to go back to. Democrats, we talked about a person who I have known for over 20 years of my life. A team that we are proud of, while Republicans, well, stage saying anything nice about their nominee. And you can see it even more distinctly when you look at the names that are going to be on the ballot. Hillary Rodham Clinton, someone who her entire life has looked out for others. Donald Trump, someone who has only looked out for himself. Hillary Clinton, someone who actually has friends. I count myself among them. Donald Trump, someone who has none. Hillary Clinton, someone who has a tremendous amount of class. And I won't say this, but Donald Trump, someone who just continues to show his, you fill in the blank. Our children are watching, and the nation is watching. This election is about sending a message about what is right and what is wrong. Is it okay for us to allow someone to refer to women as fat and pigs, to call all Mexicans racist, to attack the fallen family of one of our soldiers, a Gold Star family, to think more nuclear weapons in this world, which has already got enough violence, would be a good thing? Is it okay to praise Putin while putting down the Pope? Is it okay to have someone in politics that just wants to encourage and incite violence? I hope, Iowa, the message that we send coming up in the November election is resoundingly, no, it is not okay. Donald Trump's rhetoric is wrong. It is not challenging political correctness, and it is not funny. We would not tolerate it on our playgrounds with our children. We shouldn't tolerate it in our presidential candidates. He's not teaching America to be great. He's teaching America to hate. And that is what we have to be mindful of, because our children are watching and the nation is watching. You and I both know when you go to services on Wednesday night and rise on Sunday morning, the lessons we learn in that good book, the words and parables that they teach us, are that we don't pull ourselves up by pushing others down. No, we rise collectively together, because that's what makes us stronger. We have two hands for a reason. One to help ourselves, and another to reach out and help others. How many times in the good book does it tell you, do not be afraid? 365 times, because folks, our prayers, I don't know about you, but when I go to church, I always have a prayer to pray. Right now, where we are in the United States, we are at a crossroads as to whether we will continue to move forward or whether we will move backwards. We're here tonight, especially with some of the most amazing organizers throughout Iowa, especially North Iowa, to get focused on the work that we have ahead of us as we prepare for one of the biggest decisions yet. Tonight, I'm here to accept an award for someone who has brought us to a point. Martin Luther King said when he accepted the Nobel Peace Prize in Oslo, Norway, that he would accept that prize on behalf of a movement that hadn't yet reached the very peace and brotherhood that he had fought for so long for. He said, I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. And what self-centered men have torn down, other-centered men can build up. That is our President, Barack Obama. Of the Bush recession. He has helped us to save our auto industry. He has helped to make sure our unemployment numbers are the lowest that they have been in quite some time. Importantly, looking out for those that are the least, last, and lost among us ensuring that health care is a human right for all Americans. And need we forget the security that he has been focused on in making sure Osama bin Laden was brought to justice. Now, our work, that journey, is not over. And I hope next year, in 2017, I'll be back for my second annual Wing Ding Dinner, the 14th. And we'll be presenting the Beacon Award to the President of the United States, Hillary Clinton. I think America wants a president who says, "You're hired," not one who is commonly known for telling people you're fired. We want a president who shares our values in fighting for children and families, who has the economic vision to make sure we grow our economy, especially the middle class, the one who has the qualifications, the experience, and yes, the steady hand to be the next commander-in-chief of our armed forces. That person, that individual is Hillary Clinton. She fights for everything that Donald Trump fights against, folks. Donald Trump doesn't know how great America is because he's too busy sending his ties to be made in China, his shirts in Bangladesh, and some picture frames that I'm sure have his picture in it, over in India. America is great. We need a commander-in-chief, the next president of the United States, that realizes that. And the nation is watching. The nation is watching what will happen right here in Iowa. What will Iowa do? That's the question on everyone's mind. Where will your 6 electoral votes go? I think when they say, "What will Iowa do?" I hope you all say, "Turn blue." Let me hear y'all say it. Turn blue. When it comes to making sure that we not only give an increase in the minimum wage, but a living wage, what will Iowa do? Turn blue. When it comes to making sure women finally get equal pay for equal work, that we give paid family leave. These aren't just women's issues, these are families' issues. What will Iowa do? Turn blue. When it comes to making sure that our students can earn degrees and not be swallowed up by debt, what will Iowa do? Turn blue. And when it comes to making sure that we can look out for the men and women who have literally lifted the middle class out of poverty, our working men and women who depend, and we all believe in the ability to collectively bargain at that table, what will Iowa do? Turn blue. The answer is simple, and the ability is in your hands. You have an amazing ballot ahead of you, one that has, as I understand it, the most Democratic women in the history of Iowa running for your state house and your state senate. That is huge. You have 2 women that you can send, and Kim Weaver to Congress. We can really make somebody's dreams dash too. Has been in the Congress too long, can't we? And Patty Judge in the United States Senate. The question is whether the best dream team in the nation and the organizers that sit before me, will you all tune out, or will you actually help us turn people out? I can tell you what happens these final 90 days. I've lived it. It's called the Koch brothers. Millions amounts of dollars will come into this state because they're banking on the fact that that negative dollars will tune people out, and they will stay home and they don't go to the polls and vote. Iowa, are you ready to turn people out? Let me hear you say yes. Yes. ready to make sure that we not only hold your state senate, but you flip that house. Stand up, Iowa. If you are ready to send some amazing women to Congress and Kim Weaver and Patty Jones, stand up, Iowa. And if you're ready to make history and elect the first female president of the United States and Hillary Clinton, stand up, Iowa. Thank you all very, very much. Turn it blue, Iowa.
Folks, wasn't she awesome? Let her have it. Let her know the Iowa, yeah. Incredible. So, folks, did you have